just want to be a wife. Have kids. But everyone figures me for a sex pot. No one thinks I'm equipped for motherhood.
Classic Hollywood was filled with dazzling stars, women who lived boldly, loved fiercely, and challenged the rules. From Elizabeth Taylor's legendary romances to Tallulah Bankhead's wild parties, these actresses weren't just icons on screen, they were unforgettable forces of nature behind the scenes. In today's video, we dive deep into the lives of 10 of Hollywood's most scandalous, passionate, and fearless women. Their loves, their losses, and the legacies they left behind.
Oh. I thought you were someone else.
1. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor was a luminous presence both on and off the screen. Known for her striking violet eyes and commanding talent, she captivated audiences worldwide. But beyond her legendary roles, Taylor lived a personal life full of dramatic twists, especially when it came to love. Her most scandalous affair involved stealing Eddie Fisher from her close friend Debbie Reynolds, a betrayal that shocked Hollywood and the public alike. Despite this, Taylor's charm and charisma helped her navigate the storm of gossip, eventually reconciling with Reynolds years later. Throughout her life, Elizabeth had 7 husbands, famously marrying Richard Burton twice, a relationship marked by fiery passion and deep affection. Taylor's relationships were as intense as her performances, full of love, heartbreak, and resilience. She once said, "Love was the most important thing in her life, and she pursued it fiercely, regardless of convention." Her beauty and spirit remained unforgettable in the annals of Hollywood history. 2. Vivian Lee. Vivian Lee was the embodiment of old Hollywood glamour, her beauty dazzling and her talent undeniable. Yet beneath the surface was a woman driven by relentless ambition, willing to cross social boundaries to achieve her desires. Her infamous pursuit of Laurence Olivier, despite his existing marriage, shocked many but cemented her place in history. Lee famously followed Olivia to Capri, unbothered by the scandal her actions caused, demonstrating a fearless resolve few could match. The couple's tempestuous relationship became the stuff of legend, filled with intense love and equally fierce conflicts. Despite personal struggles and a volatile marriage, Lee brought to life 2 of the most iconic female characters in cinema, Scarlett O'Hara and Blanche Dubois. A story is a reminder that even the brightest stars carry shadows, and ambition sometimes comes at a great personal cost. Vivian's legacy is one of breathtaking talent and a woman unafraid to seize what she wanted, no matter the price. 3. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead's presence was electrifying, her voice dripping with sensuality and sharp wit. She was known as much for her bold personality as for her acting skills. Her reputation as a free spirit was legendary, and her love life was equally colorful and unapologetic. Tallulah's marriage to actor John Emery was unconventional from the start. She prized his resemblance to John Barrymore, famously refusing to be with any man who didn't meet her exacting standards. She was notorious for her wild parties and numerous romantic escapades, often shocking polite society. Yet behind her wild exterior was a woman who loved deeply and lived on her own terms. She once claimed she had slept with more men and women than she could count, and even joked about bringing a flask to church. Whether on stage or at a scandalous soiree, Tallulah commanded the room with her fearless charisma and biting humor. Her charm and candidness about her desires set her apart in an era when women were often expected to conform quietly. Tallulah's fearless embrace of life and love made her one of Hollywood's most fascinating figures. 4. Jayne Mansfield. Jayne Mansfield was Hollywood's ultimate blonde bombshell, a woman who reveled in her sexuality and charm. She was larger than life, a bright star who drew attention wherever she went. Mansfield's flamboyant lifestyle and numerous love affairs kept gossip columns busy and her fans intrigued. Her rumored connection to JFK and her playful tormenting of Satanist Anton LaVey add layers of mystery and daring to her story. Jayne's boldness extended beyond the bedroom. She challenged societal norms and embraced her sensuality without shame. Though her life was cut tragically short at 34, Mansfield's legacy as a fearless and glamorous icon remains strong. Whether strutting into a press conference with her dress falling accidentally off her shoulder, or filling her pink mansion with heart-shaped bathtubs and pet chihuahuas, she turned everyday moments into a spectacle. She embodied the idea of living boldly and loving freely, making her a symbol of old Hollywood's wild side. 5. Claraara Bo. Claraara Bo was the first true it girl, the embodiment of flapper-era freedom and charm. She dazzled silent film audiences with her vivacious spirit and infectious smile. But beyond the screen was a young woman beset by rumors, scandals, and heartbreak. Clara's romantic life was tumultuous, marked by rapid engagements and high-profile relationships with stars like Gary Cooper and Gilbert Roland. Her belief in love and romance was sincere, yet Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight often turned her personal life into fodder for gossip. The rumors about her sleeping with entire football teams and her secretary's betrayal highlighted the harsh scrutiny she faced. She came from poverty, carried trauma from a deeply troubled childhood, and never quite trusted fame's affection. Still, she gave audiences joy and never stopped craving simple love in a world that saw her as an object. Despite the scandals, Clara remained a beloved figure whose energy helped shape the Hollywood of her time. Her life reminds us how fame can be both a blessing and a curse. 6. Louise Brooks. Louise Brooks' film career was brief but unforgettable, marked by her iconic bob haircut and intense screen presence. She was a woman who rejected Hollywood's conventions, choosing instead a life filled with intellectual pursuits, partying, and personal freedom. Brooks's love affairs were numerous and uninhibited, including rumored dalliances with Greta Garbo. After leaving Hollywood, Louise embraced a life of independence, drinking gin, reading books, and living on her own terms far from the studio system's control. Though her later years were marked by poverty, she never regretted her choices. Her defiance of Hollywood norms made her a lasting symbol of rebellion and self-expression. She once said, "I like to drink and love, and I like to be left alone." And she lived by that code. Louise wasn't just ahead of her time, she belonged to no time at all. Louise's story shows the price and power of choosing freedom over fame. 7. Lupe Valz. Lupe Valz earned her nickname as the Mexican Spitfire for her fiery temper and passionate personality. Her love life was equally fiery and complicated, including a long relationship with Gary Cooper. Known for her bold antics, like lifting her dress to shock audiences, Valz courted scandal with deliberate flair. Her jealousy and insecurity sometimes caused public scenes, but she also reveled in the attention gossip brought. Lupe's vibrant spirit and sharp wit helped to carve out a unique place in Hollywood's golden era. Despite rumors and exaggerations about her private life, Valz remained unapologetically herself. She was dramatic, sensual, and always the center of the room. Even in heartbreak, she found a way to turn pale into a spectacle, the mark of a true Hollywood original. Her life reminds us how stars' power often comes with wild stories and larger-than-life personalities. 8. Diana Dors. Diana Dors was Britain's answer to Marilyn Monroe, glamorous, scandalous, and always in the spotlight. She lived in a world of extravagant parties, ostentatious homes, and endless lovers. Dors was infamous for hosting wild sex parties that blurred the lines between Hollywood fantasy and reality. Her boldness shocked the establishment. Even the Archbishop of Canterbury called her a wayward hussy. But Diana owned a reputation and refused to apologize for living life her way. Behind the scenes, she was a complex woman who battled her own struggles. To some, she was a tabloid queen, to others a tragic beauty trying to stay afloat in a world that demanded perfection. Dors' story is one of excess, freedom, and the cost of fame. 9. Barbara Lamar. Barbara Lamar's short life burned with an intense passion for love and fame. Famous for saying she took lovers like roses by the dozen, she embodied the wild, free spirit of Hollywood's silent film era. Though her life ended tragically at 29, her legacy as a glamorous and tempestuous star endures. Her beauty was matched only by her fierce ambition and desire to live fully. Barbara's romances were often tempestuous and scandalous, captivating Hollywood gossip columns. Her story is a poignant reminder of how the glittering surface of fame often masks personal turmoil. Friends described her as magnetic, impossible to ignore, and just as impossible to hold onto. She lived life like she was running out of time, and sadly, she was. 10. Daisy and Violet Hilton. Daisy and Violet Hilton defied all odds to become vaudeville stars and Hollywood actresses. Joined at the spine, they faced unique challenges but also embraced life's pleasures without hesitation. Their numerous affairs and even marriages showed their refusal to let physical limitations define their desires or happiness. The twins became symbols of resilience, learning to mentally tune out each other's presence when necessary, a skill they reportedly used even in intimate moments. Despite exploitation and hardship, Daisy and Violet lived as fully and passionately as anyone. They were stared at, studied, even sold, but never silenced. In a world that saw them as a curiosity, they chose to be women first, bold, romantic, and entirely human. Their story is one of courage, love, and defying expectations. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look at Hollywood's most daring women, please like, subscribe, and share your favorite star in the comments. See you next time.